at 6:32 p.m. And is there a motion to adopt the agenda? Can't hear you, Clayton. You're muted.
Yeah, sorry. Let me just check the agenda really quick. Yeah, so moved.
Very good. Second. And if I may have overlooked it, but I didn't see minutes from January. So
I thought I sent them out.
you probably did. You probably did. And I apologize if you did for having overlooked them. But in any event, we'll bypass those for the moment, shall we?
Okay. Yeah.
So our primary, again, order of business is to weigh in with our illustrious group of co-sponsors for the upcoming Community Board 9, Same Gender Living LGBTQ Task Force celebration of the literary activist legacy of Audre Lorde, around which I will clue everybody in as to where we are at this juncture. And it looks as if someone else is joining us. And someone was here a few minutes ago who thought we would be on site at CB9 and is looking for a warm place to rejoin us, just to be a fly on the wall. Okay, so up to the moment, what we have done around preparations for the Audre Lorde event, which is scheduled to happen on Tuesday, March 26th in the Forum, Columbia University 301. We have secured the venue at the Forum. We've attracted prospective panelists, Imani Rashid, who was a longtime friend and colleague of Audre Lorde since elementary school. And Imani was also a founding member of Salsa Soul Sisters, which is, I'm given to understand, the oldest Black lesbian organization in New York. Yes? Okay, at least nods. So that confirms that for us. Dr. Pei DeRosier, who's CEO of Stanfield DeRosier Foundation, which supports BIPOC and LGBTQ communities in creating intergenerational wealth and invests in initiatives that disrupt wealth inequality. And we've reached out on Dr. Pei's recommendation to Alexis Pauline Gumbs, who you're familiar with her, Elise.
Yes.
She is
the one.
She's a powerful young sister. Dr. DeRosier called her, what do they call her? A dissertation whisperer at Columbia these days. And she's a poet, writer, and founder of, what is it called? Brilliance Remastered, which is an online network and series of retreats for intellectuals and artists working on legacies. Audre Lorde's profound statement that the master's tools will never dismantle the master's house. And she's also pegged to pen the upcoming Audre Lorde biography. So we're trying to get her as a panelist, and Dr. DeRosier, who's a friend of hers, is attempting to help us along those lines. What else we've done up to the moment? We've attracted one potential presenter, Mark Tuggle, who is a poet. And we have put out calls to poets and writers to Columbia Queer Alliance, Barnard Writing Collective, Barnard Bookworm, Barnard Civil Liberties Club, Smart Women Lead, CCNY LGBTQ plus Open Alliance, and several other CUNY queer organizations. So we're still looking for poets and writers. I think, we've reached out to the New York Women's Chamber of Commerce, Kenya Abreu, for support for honoraria for our prospective panelists, that is. It occurred to me that it probably wouldn't work, but we also put out a call to West Harlem Development Corporation to see if they might kick in or sponsor some honoraria. And Ziad Ramadan, chair, said that's the monies that they give out of the CBG monies, the Community Benefits Agreement grant monies, and for projects of community, nonprofits in the community. So in any event, we're awaiting word from Corey Ortega over at the Women's Chamber of Commerce to see if they will support some honoraria for our prospective panelists. And Gatekeepers Collective has committed to fronting the money for the refreshments, for the food for the event. And up to the moment, that's where we are. Did I leave anything out, Clayton?
I think you got most of it. I guess the other thing is that we are currently getting started on marketing. We have a flyer. We've reached out to Madison, who might be on the call, to help distribute that. And she shared that with the community board listserv. So that'll be one thing which will, very much appreciate the help and support of our co-sponsors on.
So we can distribute the flyer?
Please, by all means.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
Absolutely.
Will do.
In fact, in my med-headed state last week, I responded to you saying, yes, by all means, yes, please, let's rally the troops, as it were. Also, with respect to our call to poets and writers, if any of you might be familiar with any young poets or writers, or even older poets and writers who might, in their efforts, be carrying on the activist legacy of Audre Lorde, and you can recommend them to us, it would be a help. So do you guys all have the flyer and the marketing materials that I think we posted for the upcoming Lorde event? Did I send it to you guys?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, because I can resend it if need be.
Let's see.
And in fact, I probably should resend it because Elise told me that the first flyer for Beyond Bold and Brave that we put on, the initial marketing piece, was the incorrect one, and we changed it to put the right logo on. So I'll resend it this evening.
Okay.
Any thoughts about marketing? Which bushes should we be beating that we mightn't have already?
Our Facebook, all of our social media, and to whatever extent the Columbia University Massive has, if CB9 can leverage that to push it out, as well as to your membership, your CB9 membership, and a bunch of organizations, California, Harlem United, what have you, women's, excuse me, I'm sorry. I'm drawing a blank and I apologize. This is a rough work day today.
You're not drawing a blank. You're coming up with great ideas. Thank you. Yes.
Aren't there a few organizations that are named after Audre Lorde?
Audre Lorde Project.
Right, there's Callan Lorde,
Audre
Lorde
Lorde
Project.
Mm-hmm.
And also the film Litany of Survival is distributed by Third World Newsreel. So you might check with Third World Newsreel to see
Mhm.
if they won't share the list, but maybe they'll send out information to people who have rented the film. They may be willing to do that, who knows, but they may be willing to share it on a list that, because you know how film distribution companies have like the LGBTQ films and the women's films and the this and
The
that.
Black film, right?
Right. They may be willing to send out the information on those specified lists
Okay,
since they have that film, and that's sort of like the quintessential film about Audre Lorde's life is Litany of Survival.
yes, excellent ideas.
Which my
Now,
mama made.
Yay!
did she?
Michelle Parkinson, remember I
Michelle
was asking you
Parkinson.
about her? They were coming
Okay.
up to New York to do another film and needed some space.
Yes,
Oh,
okay.
they are.
Well,
Wonderful.
they've already come and gone, so they're
Mhm.
working on it.
All
Good.
right, wonderful. To you guys, very good points. We've reached out several times to Audre Lorde Project. I think Kim, someone or other, is the director of the ED there now, but they've not returned calls or emails. I know they moved back out to South Oxford Place in Brooklyn to
Mhm.
out there, but so I hope they're still up and running.
They are, and they have some new leadership. They have a new ED, like you said. One of the co-organizers of the event that we're doing with Barnard on Saturday is actually on the board of Audre Lorde. So I will share this with that person and have them share accordingly.
Splendid.
Another opportunity for spreading the word potentially is excuse me, I'm sorry. My organization, Equality New York, and the Athena Film Festival at Barnard College, we are convening a panel discussion, reception, and such this coming Saturday at Barnard. And it's called Strategies for LGBTQI plus Liberation. It'll be a panel discussion featuring Beverly Tillery, who is the ED of the Anti-Violence Project, Chanel Lopez, and another person I can't recall. I can share that flyer with you, but John Martin and everyone else, that's another opportunity to share about this program, because that's one of the goals, was for folk to be able to gather and talk about what they're doing, share information and whatnot.
I have my
can get
reservation.
good. So if you would, John Martin, if you could share what I shared with you today, if you're able to share that with the team, or I can send it in the email, and you do as you see fit. And
Okay,
just to get folks to come, the event is free, all free. It's on Saturday from 2:30 to 5:30 or 6 at Barnard in the James Room. Excuse me. And it's going to be nice. It's going to be really nice. So yes, definitely there's another opportunity for outreach for the program.
okay. Thank you most kindly.
Mm-hmm. And I'll be there talking it up as well.
Wonderful, wonderful. Okay. All right. I'll tell you what I've got. So I will reach out to Callan Lord and the other usual suspects, including Ollie Fournay, Harlem United. And to your excellent point, Carmen, reach out to the contact at Third World Newsreel, which you'll share with me.
I don't have a specific contact for them.
Okay,
I just know the film is distributed through them.
okay,
Yeah, it'll probably just be, I think on their website, you know, when you want to rent a film, they'll have a general contact.
hmm,
Yeah, I don't have a specific person.
okay. So I'll reach out to them as well and ask if they might spread the word, share the marketing piece, and ask if they might disseminate it for us.
John Martin, which of the Columbia groups did you reach out to? Because I can also reach out to other groups, try to distribute it there as well.
Okay, great. The Columbia Queer Alliance, Barnard Writing Collective, Barnard Bookworms, Barnard Civil Liberties Club, Smart Women Lead, which is another Barnard organization, as I recall.
There are a couple of gay student groups or queer student groups. There's QSAP, Queer Students in Architectural Planning and something, but it's QSAP. And then the business school, let me see if I can find
Yeah, I
their.
think business school's cluster Q, I think. And then
Yes.
QSTEM was the engineering school one, which I ran before. I think there's also some like deans or something that maybe over like there's some like all queer listserv thing that I've received emails from. So I can try to reach out to whoever's on that to see if I can get it passed along to other grad student groups.
Okay.
Right. And we also sent to Jay Mill at City College, who's is a queer professor at CCNY, Kelly Spivey at Brooklyn College, in charge of a queer organization at Brooklyn College, Matt Brim at College of Staten Island. I forget who MS 177 is, but at Hunter, presides over a queer organization at Hunter. Michael Garcia at John Jay, L. Evelyn at Medgar Evers College, and the Center for Lesbian, Gay, Bisexual, Transgender, and Queer Studies at CUNY Graduate Center. So yeah, those are among the queer campus organizations to which we've reached out to disseminate the call for poets and writers. Hi, Sarah.
Hello,
Hello.
how are we? Thank you all for having me.
Well, we're doing pretty well. We're in the midst of our planning for the upcoming task force celebration of the literary activist legacy of Audre Lorde. This coming March 26th, Tuesday, March 26th, last Tuesday in next month, at the Forum, Columbia University.
Where will it be?
The Forum, Columbia University. So we have a couple of prospective panelists so far, booked, one poet so far, and we're looking to rally the troops in terms of both audience members and other presenters.
Beautiful, beautiful. Good to know, thank you. I'm just taking a couple notes here so I can share with my.
Oh, okay. And if is that the sound going on where you are?
Yes, let me put myself back on mute, so sorry.
Thank you kindly. Okay. So I guess up to the moment, that's where we are with respect to our planning for the Lorde event. Our other agenda item was we broached last month. We talked about the need to craft a brief survey regarding voids on the landscape of the lives of West Harlem SGL-LGBTQ folk. Where did we leave off with that? Just talking about the need for it. Did we talk about anyone who might be able to help us in terms of data gathering with respect to demographics? Quentin, do you remember?
So I think we got some. There are a couple people last month. I think someone was affiliated with the School of Social Work at Columbia, who offered to be of help, and I think they might have shared their email with you.
Okay,
Um,
I'll look back at my notes and look for your minutes.
yeah,
All right. Oh, yes. I know who that was. I remember who that was.
it's like I think Veda was there. There's one person named Veda, and I forgot what the other person's name was.
Mhm. Um, Coy, Coy Hune was her last name. CCHR, NewYorkCity.gov. Sarah Coy Hune. Commission on Human Rights. Was she the one?
I don't think so. I think he was mostly talking about what their group does. I think it was someone else.
From
It was like
Columbia?
it's two people who were affiliated with Columbia, I think, who
Okay,
offered to help.
okay. So we'll connect with them
Yeah.
about commencing data mining to post a survey around such unmet needs as we perceive there to be among us in West Harlem. Was there something you wanted to share with us, Sarah?
Yeah, so thank you so much for opening for me. My name is Sarah and I'm working on a grant project supporting this project in Riverside over at 151. Maybe you all know David Shargani. And he's got this bid on his property over here and got to turn it into a restaurant. And when he approached me about it, he said, but it's so much more than that. You know, it's a space for art, a space for culture, a space for education, youth, development, all kinds of stuff. So I'm mostly here to kind of figure out that while we're working on this project, how do we help the initiatives of groups that particularly are near and dear to my heart, but also to the objective of this project. And you know, if there's any way that we can be supportive and be able to host events that will support arts and culture, education, all those things, we certainly want to look into it. I do have a partner called We're Cheryl with Brook Harvest. And you know, we're working to create an empowerment now, really, in this area that's going to support the very important work that you all are doing. So if there's any way that I can be of help, please do let me know. And also, I'm happy to be here and thanks so much for sharing space with me.
Absolutely. I'm fairly certain that I'm the only person among us who knows who David is. So if you want to say anything about what his project is.
Yeah, I'd love to. Thank you. So David is one of the kindest men I've met. He put a bid on this property back in 2020. And the bid for the property, it's the rotunda in the arcade at Riverside Park. And it used to be a stable. I've been calling it the castle because it kind of looks like a little castle. And there's a good deal of work that needs to happen between parks and DOT for this project to get underway. So since I've met David, we started getting things moving with parks, started getting things moving with DOT. We're raising the flags for vendors and entrepreneurs come be a part of this project. So my role in it as the grant writer is to help coordinate some of the major players that can help bring this to life. And we envision it not just as the restaurant, as the bid outlines, but also, like I said, this community education resource hub is how I'm thinking of it. So Cheryl, I see you're here. Thanks for jumping on. So Cheryl and I are working together to help coordinate some of that coordinated, pull the pieces together, get some vendor events going on so we can do a little do a little business in the area and help folks get some money in their pockets. I personally am rather committed to topics of LGBT youth. I've been an educator for 15 years. I call myself an interdisciplinary educator. So generally my bent is how do we support the youth? How do we support the arts and culture? How do we wrap that into everything we're doing? So David, when we met, he's like, I need a restaurant there. What can you do to help me get a restaurant there? And that's where I brought in Cheryl. So I tell everyone that'll listen that Cheryl is a go-getter who's, absolutely about getting things done. So I'm pleased to have her as part of this endeavor as well.
Thank you, Sarah. So the venue that Sarah is talking about, and what's David's last name again?
Shargani?
Shargani, yes. The venue that Cheryl is referencing is a rotunda that faces the entrance to the Denny Farrell footbridge on the mezzanine underneath Riverside Drive at 151st Street. So the footbridge that goes across from the mezzanine level of the park all the way over to the parking lot down by the Riverside. And the rotunda is a structure where over the last couple of Octobers, David has mounted this Oktoberfest festival of artists performing in the rotunda, and he wants to open a restaurant there. And Harvest, is that your name? How do you mute it? Take your time.
Hi, how are you? Yes, my name is Cheryl Mosley. I am the founder of Her Harvest Empowerment Foundation, which I am in partnership with Sarah and David Shargani to try to get this project underway. Unfortunately, we've been hitting some road bumps with the DOT as far as the stabilization or the foundation of the sidewalk. Which won't allow for, David to do the construction that he needs to do on a place to open it up. So we came in and hoping that we can launch a Her Harvest Marketplace, which is going to be a women's small business marketplace event to drive workforce development within West Harlem. So like everything right now is pretty skeletal. So we're kind of just coming in and trying to, see what kind of support and what kind of community we can get behind us to kind of rally to try to get this project open, to try to get this rotunda open, so that way we can restore some of the cultural and arts back into West Harlem, try to restore some more employment into West Harlem, give small business owners a chance to have a place where they can come that's beautiful and not be pushed over to 105th and Riverside all the time. So again, my initiative here is just to simply try to help David get this up and running, so that way Her Harvest Empowerment can come in and kind of do our works as we do with small business, women, small business owners and women that have been displaced in the workforce, whether it be due to life changes, incarceration, or anything like that. So that's just a little bit about us. So I jumped on board with Sarah. She recommended this to me, and I too have met David, and he's spoken nothing but great things of you, Mr. Green. So I'm really hoping that we can do something together as a community to try to get this place up and running, so that way we can bring some roots back to West Harlem for sure.
Thank you. Thank you both for joining us. All right then. Honorable Mr. Clayton, is there any old business?
I don't think so. I think it's mostly the things you've discussed already.
Okay. New business.
I guess I do want to check with I guess Sarah and Cheryl, like are there specific asks you have for our task force, or like things you'd like us to particularly keep in mind or let you know?
On my end of things, I'm always looking for how to support whatever grant proposals we're working on. So For instance, I'm open to looking for things that specifically support arts and culture where it intersects with LGBT youth education. And that doesn't have to be just be youth, it can be all kinds of folks. So I guess my asks are things like these events that are coming up, just what's going on, what's on the calendar, how can I support those events so that I can also kind of bring in where it makes sense to weave together some, oh, you guys will be a great fit for this grant. Let's go ahead and partner you up over here and do this. That's kind of what I'm looking for, is folks who are interested in being part of grant projects. And I do like to kind of hone in into groups that are at intersectional places, right? So generally I start with LGBTQ groups because that's where I feel most at home. And then working out from there. So of course it doesn't have to just be LGBTQ task force items, but while I am here, any way that I can support with grant, mentorship, answering questions, all kinds of stuff, I'm looking forward to doing it. Just to put on your radar, I'm also in line to have a meeting with the Boys and Girls Club of Harlem in pursuit of a grant in partnership with the DOT. This would be separate from the DOT issues that Jason with the Sun. So as it pertains to programming and things around that nature, I'd also like to keep that on folks' radar. So if it seems like something that would be of interest to your group, simply just access and knowledge is where I'm coming from on the show.
Very good.
Thank you.
So Sarah and Cheryl, would you mind sharing your email addresses so that we can invite you and your networks to join us for the upcoming Audre Lorde celebration? And if you will put those in the chat for us.
I don't consider myself super commercial, and it was a really good idea when I was setting it up, but my email is sarah@sarahnoh.co, not .com. So
Sarah at,
it's sarah@sarahnoh.co. So instead of .com,
Oh.
I have .co, and it throws people off a little bit. So that's what that
Sarah at
distinction is.
Sarah No H.
Sarah No H. I like to keep it simple. So immediately
Nice.
people are like, oh, is that with an H? Not straight to business. Sarah No H. Let's go.
Okay. And I see Her Harvest Empowerment.
Yes.
Nice.
And Clayton, for me and for Her Harvest Empowerment, I would like to say that being a part of the LGBTQIA+ community for as long as I have been, it is definitely something that we definitely ground ourselves on, as well as being very inclusive to our community. So any way that we can support as well, we definitely will. As far as job placement and things like that, I look to partner with Covenant House and a couple of different organizations to help our young generation to get out here and be able to get on their feet as well. So any organizations or anything that you see that may be befitting for our women empowerment or our LGBTQIA+ community that I can help assist in any way, I'm definitely here for.
Wonderful. Well, you guys should know, if you don't already, Carmen Neely, who is in the room with us, who is the director of Harlem Pride, which is the...
Hi, Carmen. Thanks for being here also and for your work.
Thank you, thank you.
And Elise Emery, who is the executive director of Beyond Bold and Brave, a stalwart
Also, Elise.
leader in our community.
Thank you for your work.
Thank you. Thank you. You'll be hearing from us. We are just started our planning, our next level of planning for one of our signature events, which is the Black Lesbian Conference. We will be announcing some of that on Saturday, but most of it later on in the year. And we also have another large project as well. So you'll be hearing from me, and thank you for offering to step in. This is good. Very good.
Ashe.
Thank you so much.
Ashe.
Yeah, so I'm gonna put my email in the chat as well.
That's a good idea. Thank you.
Maybe we can do something for Pride Month.
Yeah, that's what I was
Okay.
thinking.
Mhm.
I have some ideas and I was just gonna email you all separately, but there's my email as well.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And mine is my name, John Martin Green. Green is like the color, one word, at gmail.com. John Martin Green at gmail.com. And all right then, if there's
And no E.
and no E, Green, no E, yes. Then is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Seconded. And we bless and thank you all for joining us this evening and look forward to being in touch with you.
All right, everyone.
Good
Have a
night.
evening.
Thank
Sure.
you.
Good night.
Bye.